Oh, shucky ducky. I think we live today on a Monday afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Shireen Dickens. I'm here with the business of cleaning every Monday, like we do. Today, we a little late because, I was having technical difficulties. I'll be trying to figure out how to make this stuff correct, and technical is not my strong point, so I'll be in here messing up big time, you guys. But so we're here and we got it together. And this week we are going to be talking about how you can attract and hire great talent using your actual hiring process. All right, there is Clive. Woo, woo, woo. What's up, Clive?
Okay. All right. Let's see.
We see you. You fixed my big face last week, so I'm not like all up in the camera. I'm so gassed about that. You don't know how much that was bothering me. That was really getting on my nerves, like a lot. It was. It was.
I'm glad it worked out for you.
Yes. Thank goodness. All right. So we got some fun stuff for you guys today, as usual. But so today we are going to be talking about how we're actually using our applications to bring in the to bring in our A players. And what are even A players? Those are our top tier cleaners. Those are our top tier office people. A players are exactly what it sounds like. Your Derek Jeters of the game, the ones that you need to get to the chip. All right. So, collab. What I wanted to start with today was just ask you, how does your process work when it comes to hiring? So, hopefully you're not hopefully, I know for a fact, but you're not doing it like Shireen Dickens in 2017 used to do, which was like hiring people off the street, giving them an address.
So,
What does your process look like now? Not the whole hiring process, we're specifically talking about the application.
yeah, no doubt. So, and thank you everybody for being here again, right? So, I definitely don't think about the entire. So, thinking about the application process, it comes down to first having a great job ad, right? We have to think about hiring as we think about marketing, right? We think about, oh, how can I get customers? And we think of a lot of times I see people think of client as cleaners as add-ons, right? It's like, oh yeah, I need cleaners to do. We need to get cleaners. We need to get no. This is they're vitally important, just like your customers. They're
Yep.
two sides. They're if you do the numbers and you start talking about how much a cleaner earns you every year, then you'll be able to understand more of if your averages, if they get you 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, whatever they can get you in revenue, and you understand what they bring to your business, then you will be able to say, oh, they're very important. I need to keep them here. I need to make them happy.
And I need to market to them the same way that we market to our clients. That is a very excellent point that you made. A lot of us are looking at cleaners as the last part, like, all right, got to get my marketing in, got to get these great clients. We got to make sure that we do everything to impress these clients and get the job. We have to do the same thing for our cleaners. We need to impress our cleaners with our company and our knowledge and our platform that we have for them. We need to support them. We need to uplift them. And they, in turn, are going to bring us the business that we desire. You can't do it by yourself. That means you must have staff, cleaners, office people, assistants, however you do it. And when we are speaking to them, we have to speak to them with the same, I want to say kid gloves, but not necessarily kid gloves, but we want to speak to them the same way that we're speaking to our clients, you know, putting out, like you said, a good video about you and your company, or making sure that they know, what to expect. When are they hired? When are they training? What are they doing?
Yeah, that's deeper off in the process, and so of course we're talking about onboarding and and in your process, understanding, make sure your cleaners are clear,
Yep.
safe with your customers. Now, one of the things that we want to be able to do is we're speaking the end in mind. What type of cleaners do you want? What are the values of your company? Do you want people that are experienced? Do you want people? do you want cleaners that are coming in? And I've seen the gauntlet of some people like, hey, I want an experienced cleaner, somebody who knows how to clean already, and we just need to, kind of mold them into what they're doing. Yep. Some people are like, oh, people are stuck in their ways, and I don't want an experienced cleaner. I want somebody brand new that I could train. I train for attitude. I train for skill, not attitude, right? Yeah. And I've talked to so many business owners. I've seen both work. So I don't say if or just depending on your personality. Are you willing to take more time to train somebody and go through that length, or are you saying, hey, I care more about the result than I do getting it exactly by my process, right? Gotcha. So that's the things that people weigh. Understanding that, then you understanding on your job application, you can start talking to those people. I'm looking for experienced cleaners. I'm looking for cleaners that are not experienced, right? Or people who have great attitude. Have you ever thought about getting in the cleaning business, but you never knew about it? So I've seen talking to different owners, different ads. Hey, have you ever thought about cleaning? If you're not, it's a great job. You get these many hours, this time, you get to work by yourself. Or are you a cleaning business? Are you a cleaner? You've been working in the cleaning industry and you want to find a great place to work. You feel like you haven't gotten the opportunity that you wanted. You want to come and find out more about cleaning. Those are two different types of ads targeting.
Tell me about yours. Who do you target? Like, what's the wording with yours?
The wording with ours is
put you on the spot.
Yeah, because we work with so both ways. We focus more on people who are new, right? Who want to clean, but they've never cleaned. Of course, and I always tell people you're leaning towards one or the other, but you're hiring both, right? Now I know some people don't hire at all, either one or, right? But I have it where I will take experienced cleaners, but my focus is on people who say, hey, we've never cleaned before. And what we do is we take them in and we gradually get them into cleaning. Because what I found is that cleaning is not difficult. Well, I shouldn't say that. Let me take that back. What I'm saying is that some people like to clean. I'm not going to tell that lie, right? Some people find the cleaning soothing and enjoying, right? And they start to say, okay, you know what? This is a soothing and enjoying experience. And that's how that really works.
Cool. I know. So you go after more, not go after, but your wording is more so tailored to people who are looking to learn to clean.
Yeah, who feel like they have an aptitude to clean. They've done it before. They're like, oh, I cleaned inside of my house, or I cleaned in the office before, or they don't have that much experience, but they have good attitudes.
Okay.
Right. And like I said, because I've just had that where a lot of times experienced cleaners, not because like I said, we have both. That's the thing about it. We have both. And experienced cleaners, they are
a little more set in their ways.
Yeah, just a little more set in their ways.
We go through the same thing with experience. Says that I've done this for 20 years and the way that it works.
I always tell people, I always say, I'm not saying your way doesn't work. I just say we don't do that here. I'm saying if you have a suggestion on how we can make things better, so we have a form where they can submit it to the suggestion box, right? So we have an actual form that people can submit to the suggestion box, and then we do.
Other than that, you're like, this is how we doing it.
Yeah, of course, because it has to be standardized. If it's not standardized, how can we go into a house and have time expectations and have understandings of what we're going to do? How do we do that?
Awesome. Cool. Only reason I was asking was just to give our viewers kind of an insight on how the application works and how we can use that to kind of filter out what kind of people we want, which is why I asked specifically about yours. For mine, I like people with a little more experience. I don't mind training new, but I tailor the words on my application to say that, do you already know how to clean, but just need an environment that is set up easily for you to go to work, get the job done, and that be it? Well, this is perfect for you here at Finish and Touch NYC. We have a platform set up with A, B, C, 1, 2, and 3, so that it kind of sounds nicer to someone who has a little bit of experience already. Don't mind training. Don't mind, at all people with no experience. I just tailor, because like you said, you're leaning one way or another without whether you know it or not. So I just like to tailor my words to people who have a little more experience. And the whole point of saying that was to say that when you are going for your cleaner, you need to be marketing to them. So make sure you are, just like when we're speaking to our client and we'll say something that we know that will bring that specific type of client in. We want to do the same thing with our cleaners on our applications. A great way to do that too is a video um, about yourself, about your company, and about their position. What that will do is stand you out as a company who knows exactly what you want, know exactly what you're looking for, and also it gives the cleaner more of a sense of like, oh, okay, this is a legitimate company I'm dealing with here. There's thousands of cleaning companies. Cleaning companies come and go. You want to stand yourself out as being top tier. The same way that you want to stand yourself out to your client as being top tier, you want to stand yourself out to your cleaner as being top tier, because what that will do in turn for you is it will create, a kind of respect for your company up front. And that helps dictate how your cleaners are going to, follow the rules, act, how long they'll stay with you, everything like that. Just think of it when you were searching for jobs. What stood out to you? Did they make it seem like a fun environment? Was it about benefits? Like whatever it was that stood out to you, that's what I like to do with my company. I remember things that stood out to me and jumped out to me and apply that and make sure that I'm bringing people in and giving them a reason to stay and making sure that the wording that we're using is going to actually bring in the kind of people that you want listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So, we have examples inside of we have our forms, and like showing like an application of how we do it? Would you like that?
Yeah, Clive, we want to see it. Pull out the goods. So what that does though is that kind of, so a lot of us will literally just put out an ad on a job board and sift through the 970 applications that come in and start with number one and just sift through all of them. You know what I mean? And when that happens, we end up kind of not we get lost in the sauce when you've got like 1,000 applications. It's like, oh my goodness, no. We want to make sure that as cleaning business owners, we come up with a way to kind of filter out the kind of people that we want to talk to, so that instead of getting 1,000 applications where we're like, oh my God, we'll get maybe 100 or 50, where they're more like 50 viable candidates based on, what you said to bring them in.
So yeah, this is just the basic application that we have here. And so one of the things we use inside of our ClickUp. Let me see if does this pull up.
Yeah, can you see it on the stream? I have it showing.
Yeah, I can see it. So these would be like all the applicants, and then let me go. But I want to go to the application first. So I just pulled this form out. So this is like, saying what we want, what we're looking for, trying to feel like who we want to be cleaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as we go, we always say what we provide first, because a lot of times we go in like, hey, we need a background check, right? You got to be like, nah, what do you guys? So we want to be like, hey, this is what we do for you first, right? And then it's just psychology. Of course, people are just saying, because a lot of times people be like, you must have a background check. You got to have this. You got to have that. And they don't say anything about what are you doing for us?
Right.
You're lucky to work here.
As demanding initially, like, hey, you got to give me your background check, your 10 years of experience, your PhD in cleaning and psychology, and I'll pay you.
Exactly. And luck, and you're lucky we're going to pay you.
Nope. We want it to be warm, welcoming, why you want to come here. So I like that first. I like that you show what we provide first. Supplies, great pay and tips, one-on-one training, fun team atmosphere, and flexible schedule. Okay, Clive, because if I wasn't up here with me, I would want to come work for you. Okay. That looks fun.
Miss Sonia, she's the one that does. She made that because I don't have the fun team outfit.
No, your fun is that like no. Let me stop. You got a little. You have a little piece of fun. You have like 2% of fun.
So that's funny. We ask all these questions, right? And in these questions, like, how did you hear about the job? Are you older than 21? So all these questions, once
Show
they're
that
filled,
drop down again, Clive.
I'll go through, like, how
No,
did
I'll
you hear?
go through it one by one, but I really just like how you have that set up to where
Mhm.
they can drop in their answers right there easily, and then
Mhm.
the answers dictate whether you see their applications or not.
Yeah, I'm going to show you all that. So right here, it's like all these. There's a lot of questions
Mhm.
in the source, and depending on what they answer, right? Depending on what they answer in all of these, we have applications. So this would allow us to know if they're qualified, right? So we're sorting by qualifications, and then we have the status. Are we rejected? Are they qualified? Are they hired? So no shows. They didn't show up to the interview. They qualified. They were rejected. So we have a whole process um, inside of this where we use it and we use ClickUp, and we just set it
ClickUp
up where
is amazing. Just in case y'all guys didn't know, ClickUp is like project management on like Popeye project management with the big arms eating spinach. ClickUp is serious, you guys.
yeah, that. So as you can see right here, and this all depends on questions they ask in here, and then that's how you would get that there. That way, you're not
So
sorting through
I
100
like
applications.
this. It kind of so based on their answers, it will sort. Okay, how do I can take this off of my screen now? Bam.
Yes.
Oh, I feel so technical doing that in like 3 seconds. My goodness, I'm a pro now. But I like how that with those questions, people are not qualified based on their answers. That is amazing because, again, like I said, a lot of us, when we're looking for cleaners, we put out an ad and we get 1,000 applications and start sifting through like that. The way that you have that set up where your people who are looking for work from you are directed to that page and have to answer those questions. They're directed to that's sort of like a landing page.
Yeah. So it depends on what they do. We do two things. You can schedule a call, but we also follow up. So we have a whole pattern of there's a whole sequence cadence of what we do. So we do have you can schedule a call. If they don't schedule a call within 10 minutes, then it puts on our VA's calendar that she should call them. Right.
Okay.
So we want to give them an opportunity to schedule a call, but if they don't, it's a competitive market out here. So we want to reach back out and let people know they were serious about calling them. So every time an application is filled out, we get a ding, and then we wait 10 minutes to say, hey, did they fill out the scheduling part? Because some people don't know how to do it. Some people, it's technology. Some people are like, oh, I don't even know how to do that. So if they don't do it, we call them ourselves.
Okay. But as long as they go through that, they come to that landing page, they answer your questions, and they are qualified, pre-qualified, or disqualified based on those.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's an
Yeah.
amazing filtration process. I know you guys want to learn about that. You have to schedule a one-on-one with Clive for that one. You have to schedule time with Clive so he can show you exactly how that works. Because I tell you, going from having, and this isn't even an exaggerating number, over 1,000, resumes when you put out for the cleaning tech position. I'm sure you get, well,
Yeah.
not anymore, which filtering system. But when I used to just put mines out on, Indeed or something and get back 1,000
We
resumes.
still get 1,000 applications. We just don't look at 1,000 applications. So it's the same number. It's just what you see because they go to the wayside, right? It's like it's the shafting, right? It's getting to make sure that you're just only getting the wheat. You're not getting the shaft, right? So you're just making sure you're separating it, and you have the exact example that you need. You have the exact people that you want. So we categorize there A, B players, B players, C players, right? So if you're an A player, that's people that we're like, oh yeah, we're excited about this person. B players, they meet all the basic criteria, right? We also have a personality. We took some questions from a personality test, and we also because we found that cleaners fit a certain mold of personality. So we rank those as A players who fit exactly into that personality. We
Right.
rank B players, anybody who's they fit, they meet the criteria, but they don't fit the personality criteria. So we don't
Okay.
want to exclude them, but we do want to say, hey, you know what? They don't fit based on what we know this criteria. And then the third person is that they don't meet the basic minimum to even get a job interview, right? They mean their background, their age, their license. We have a multitude of questions that they have to answer.
That's interesting. So that assessment test, that's the results on that were based on people in just the cleaning industry.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Awesome. So
You
that's
can,
something that all of us as cleaning business owners can
if you
possibly.
take a cleaning business and just ask them what's the personality of cleaning business owned of cleaners, you'll see, right? And so that's what most of the time happens. So what I found is people who just want to clean, they're very quiet and detailed, right? I'm
Right.
just naming two little traits because they're quiet and detailed. Now I found people who like to speak, they are they are detailed, but they love to talk. And what happens when they love to talk? They want to start their own stuff, right? She's
That
laughing.
sounds like somebody we talking
Yeah, I
to.
mean, if you see it in yourself, most cleaning business owners are people that most cleaning business owners are detailed. They're perfectionists, but they're very outgoing. They love to talk with people. When you have cleaners like that, what happens is they get very cool with the clients,
Yeah.
and then they start saying, "Hey, you know what? I can start my own business. I don't mind because I've had people come and say they want to start. I've had people here like, oh yeah, I'll start my own business, but I always tell people, go ahead. I'm not hiding anything from you. You know what I mean? Because our business is going to thrive because I know that 1 out of 10 people who start the cleaning business are going to go back to work. They're going to go back and
One
work.
out of 10. I did not realize that stat. 10% of people who start their cleaning business are going back to work.
They're going out of business. Ask a lot of people. You know, how many people come to me and say, "Yeah, I had a cleaning business before," and you'll see they left. They went to go get started clean. They thought it was easy because we think because we can clean, we think that we can run a business. It's not
Oh,
the same
not
thing.
true. Yeah.
So that's what happens. Like I tell people, I said, yo, there's no secrets. They be like, oh, how do you get clients? Like, yo, you can go on Google. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things you can do. Are you going to go door to door? Are you going to knock on everybody's door? Are you
Yeah.
going to follow with leads all day? Are you going to, when somebody calls you, how are you going to do this?
There's way more work in the business than there is in the actual deep cleaning.
I would say that it's different work, right? But it's still hard work. They're still
Yes.
both hard work. That's what I would think it's saying, right? Because I never want to, the cleaners. I always let them know you like y'all doing it because it's hard work to clean, right? But
Yes.
difference is that it's not as routine cleaning, right? So what happens with cleaning is that I go in a house, is basically or a building, I basically clean. I know what I'm doing, right? In a
Yeah.
business, there's so much pivoting has to go on, right? You have to figure so many things out. You're like, oh man, I didn't know I had to go. Oh, if I knock on 1,000 doors, or what's the best way? Oh, how do I figure out Google Ads? How do I figure out, marketing? Where's the best place to go, right? And then you go on a Facebook group and you say, how do I get leads? And somebody from Washington says, you need to go on Yelp. And then somebody from Georgia says, no, you need to go on Facebook.
Because that works out there in Washington.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't use Yelp at all, but I've heard people. I know guys who have master classes on Yelp, how to get nothing but like that's what people would. You'd be like, oh, you never use Home Advisor. People have made all their money on Home Advisor, depending on where they're at.
Yeah.
So when people say these things, it's like, no, you don't. Your situation is totally different.
True.
So those are the things. It's like hiring cleaners, right? It's like, oh, if I say in Georgia, this is the type of cleaners, this is what you need to do. No, because attitudes are different here than they would be in New York.
Yeah, definitely.
So when people think about that, it's a figuring out. This is why the cookie cutter approach that a lot of people have, they have a cookie cutter approach to things. So even with the application, people like, you can't just copy my application and think that you're going to get the same results. There's a lot behind it. Well, we're talking to people in our region with our ideal client who we know what works as cleaners. What works in your cleaners may be different.
That's very true. The attitudes out here, I'm in New York City. There's 10 million people here. The competition is fierce for work. So we can you can speak to your potential employees in a different manner, in a more, this is what we need. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Maybe somewhere else, because again, that kind of language is normal for New York City. No one
Yeah.
takes offense to that. We're used to that. Literally 10 million of us on top of each other. Whereas opposed to down there, the same type of wording, you know, would possibly turn a good cleaner off. You know,
Yeah.
so
People more
that
laid back down here.
that
They're like
takes
they
a lot.
so it's like, people expect kindness down here.
Yeah. No
People
one
do.
expects that here. If you're too kind, people think that you're weird.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's the whole difference. People expect the kindness out here. I was talking to somebody the other day, and it was like, even if you disagree, you still can be kind, And I was just like, that's the attitude out here. People are like, why? No matter what happens, you can still be kind, even when people are cursing you, right? They'd be like, bless their heart, and when people see it,
No.
you will
New
curse.
York City, when people disagree with each other, now you're just bad people. You're not
Yeah,
even good anymore.
yeah,
New Yorkers are crazy. But again, in relation to, hiring cleaners, it's a tone that we're used to, or again, just something different that would work down there that would work for here,
yeah. So, no, I got you. This is why and this is why I go back to when I say it, because people think that it's very easy to get cleaning to get done, and then you start working for a nickel, you don't get the prices you want. You're like, why am I doing it? People can't live. A lot of people, they work for a company. They think they're going to go out and do their own thing. They start making less than the company. People steal a client here and there, right? They have to go to another company. Why? Because somebody's like, oh, well, what if somebody steals a client? Like, people have like non-disclosure agreements, which are very hard to enforce. Everything like that, right? I'm like, you're going to go to court about that, right? Are you going to spend thousands of dollars to enforce about one client, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I
It's
mean, I know.
true. It's the same with all of our, we do a lot of paperwork just to, have our own, have kind of have yourself, have something for yourself. But the truth of the matter is, you're not going to spend thousands of dollars going to court against that one client over that $700 invoice.
Yeah, you just want the client. You want them to understand that this is here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what the paperwork. So when I'm saying, I'm not even saying don't do the paperwork,
No, do
because
it.
you still need the paperwork to be like, to let them know that, look, this is here. We don't agree with, because if you don't tell them that you don't agree with this, people will try to take your clients, right?
Yes.
So and with that is coming back to having. So we're just talking about all this in relation to understanding who you're going after, right? Who
Yep.
are who you're targeting on your application, sifting those people through on your application, being focused and dedicated, understanding your wording. This is all marketing. You have to go over, look what questions, what do you want out of your cleaners? What are your must-haves? Ask questions. You would be surprised at the questions that people have. I see people who would, if somebody left $100 bill on the counter, do you think it's okay to take it? And people have said literally yes. Yes, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it okay to eat out of people's fridge? Yeah, definitely. People, I'm saying,
But that's comical to me, right? But
mhm,
you have someone who will answer, oh yeah, definitely. If the client's not home, I'll just make
yeah.
a sandwich. And that's like,
You can
thank you.
ask.
That question automatically eliminated you, sir. And I will not
Thank
even see this application, Mr. Make a Sandwich in my client's house.
Exactly. So you want to be able to understand what you're trying to, what question. And I'm just saying that you have these questions that you can ask on a test, and you could say, if they answer this to these questions, then I would eliminate them, right? You could have a point system. That's my question. I have a questionnaire, but we don't make it cookie cutter, and we don't say, oh, you know what? Here, take ours, and we actually craft the questionnaire with you and say, what do you want to know? What's important to you?
That's what he did for mine. So, and again, like I said, is since I'm looking for people with a little more experience, my questionnaire was crafted to place those people in the A category, so that when I do see um, what are they called? I say, what are they called?
Resumes.
Out of 1,000 applications that come in, 600 of them eliminate themselves with that, will you take the $100 off the counter question, right? Boom. Now you're gone. Now, out of the 400 that I have left, 200 have answered the question in a manner which makes them an A player, which means that I'm going to see those first. So again, what that's going to do for us as cleaning business owners is just declutter our time. because I can remember a time when before I had an office, I would rent office space to do
Interviews.
interviews in. And at that point, I was literally just putting a job out on Craigslist. And out of all of the 1,000 emails and calls that I got, I would just schedule you in 30-minute time blocks. One day I had nobody come, and I was paying for that office $60 an hour. That hurt. You know what I mean? But now that we do more of a filtering process, I am not saying this is perfect. You are going to get some bums that filter their way all the way through.
That's why they still an interview though.
Right.
If it was like guaranteed, it was guaranteed, then we would just be like, yo, you don't even need an interview, just hire whoever comes to the fore.
As soon as they fill out this application is magic. It eliminates all horrible people. Mm-hmm. You can just hire whoever comes through. That is not the case. What it does is saves you time from looking at the ones with certain information that would automatically disqualify them for you anyway. And then categorize the ones who you think would be A players based on the application being based on your core values, what's important to you, to your business, to your company. You know, what do you need to happen? What do they need to do? You know what I mean? So
what, yeah. And anyway, we've gone down this rabbit hole just saying that what you need to do.
But it's a good rabbit hole. It's fun.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and it's there's so much more. As we always say, you know, you can always schedule with us either a marketing strategy or a hiring strategy, right? We always go through your plan and help you develop one of those.
You got to talk to Clive about that system. I'm just saying, you want to have yours set up through ClickUp the way Clive does, where he has the way his setup is extraordinary. You got to call him to get it though. You got to call him for the sauce.
Well, yeah, I said we're just here, and that's and Shireen helps, you know, work through, because a lot of times people don't know how to work through those questions. So we try to work through what is the questions, because it's not just, hey, we want to pull it out of you, but having that in place, understanding that, then we can go on to how do we conduct hiring, how do we conduct interviews, onboarding. There's a whole process in it, but this is a major key to having the application, understanding who you're looking for, because everything else down the line won't make sense if you don't know who you're looking for and you don't have the right application to filter those people out. So, like I said all the time, thank you for joining us, and I just hope that, you know,
yes. Thank you. I mean, shoot, what can I say? That clock said it all. Thank you for joining us. Today's session I hope it was helpful for you. It was for me, definitely, just to learn how to filter out people and not spend so much of my time going through applicants that are not worth my time, you know, for my specific job. So yes, join us. We'll be back here next week. Schedule a one-to-one with myself or Clive if you wanted to learn any more information about what we have spoken about today. And definitely join us at Business of Cleaning.
All right. Y'all have a great day. Stay focused. Stay blessed.